Hi, it's Jen with Hidden River Creative, and today I'm going to be making another tag with the Spellbinders 13 Days of Craftoween 2025 Advent Calendar. Today I'm going to be using the day 6 dies to make this tag. Isn't he cute? I love the little skeleton. So if you want to see how I made this tag, stay tuned. Okay, on to day 6, which is this cute little skeleton. He has all these little pieces, takes a little bit to put together, but so worth it. So once again, I am going to use a piece of patterned paper to back my tag. The bottom of that tag is just a piece of Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110 pound to give it some sturdiness. So I'm just going to glue that on. And then I'm going to pull in my crocodile punch again. I always use the 3/16 side to punch a hole. So I'm going to punch that out, and then I'm going to bring in you guessed it, an eyelet. So I'm going to put that eyelet in and just punch that into the back so that it stays in. I chose a white one this time so that it stood out against the dark background. So I'm going to bring my punch in again, put that in, press it down, have some trouble. There we go. All done. And then I cut my skeleton out of my cardstock ahead of time, and I'm just going to glue all these little pieces together. You can see on the skull and the body, there are those two little dots. I went ahead and glued those on. Those do die cut out. There's a separate piece that die cuts those out, those little details. I went ahead and glued them on because I knew that I would lose them. So he's got some little cheeks there. And then there's a die cut that cuts out this backer piece to his face, which is so smart. I'm glad they did that. Otherwise, I have to fussy cut out little pieces of black cardstock to go on the back. So really appreciate that they did that. Now I'm going to put together his broom. It's got some detail pieces here. I cut those out of like a teal scrap piece of cardstock. So I have this piece for the broom, and then there's another piece for his hat, and I just cut those out of the same color so they would coordinate and match. How cute. So put the bottom piece on the broom here. I just get glue everywhere when I put together die cuts. I need to get one of those, I think it's a Tim Holtz Media Mat, maybe. I know I've seen Amy R use it. I know Kathy Z uses it. I need to get one because I for sure get glue all over my glass mat and then I have to clean it. Sometimes it's really gunky and hard to get off, so I should probably invest in that with my next crafty purchase. I'll write that down. Anyway, I'm just assembling all of these little pieces still. Like I said, he's got a lot of little parts and pieces, takes a little bit to put them together, but he's got a lot of detail and he looks super cute, especially with his little hat. I think you could do a lot with this little skeleton. And look at his little cauldron. Oh my gosh. How adorable. And he's even got like this tiny, tiny little piece of cardstock detail that is supposed to, I guess, kind of look like smoke coming out of his little cauldron. I love it. So now I'm just going to place these onto my tag just to get an idea for how I want to place him down. I'm not going to put a lot of extra stuff on this tag. It's really just going to be this little guy, maybe some embellishments. I say maybe, like I don't know what's coming up. I'm going to put embellishments on this for sure. His little broom. So cute. All right. Decision made. Let's glue this guy down. So I'm just going to put his little body together. One of his arm, like you can see on the envelope, it shows you what he's supposed to look like, do what you want. Okay, if you don't want to have him holding anything, if you just want his arms at his side, if you want both his arms up, you do you. But I'm just going to follow the direction that was on the example in the envelope because I'm going to have him holding both his broom and his little cauldron. So now I'm just going to glue his little broom handle down. And I'm going to end up popping him up on some foam tape just because I don't have a whole lot going on this tag. So I just wanted him to kind of stand out a little bit from the tag background. And I'm actually going to pull in the little banner again from, I think it was day 4. It's such a cute little banner. It's so versatile. And actually, this is going to be my sentiment. I'm not going to cut out or stamp another sentiment from the sentiment stamp set that was included with the Craftoween kit. I'm just going to use this little boo, and that's going to be that. So putting my foam tape on this little guy, and then once I get all my little foam tape pieces on there, I'll adhere him down. I am going to pull in some embellishments. Now, you guys know I am working through my crafty stash. So this cardstock is from an old Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper pack. So it's not available, but it's pretty generic, right? It's just spider webs. So you could probably look through your own stash or find a piece of cardstock. Or there are lots of spiderweb stamps that you could use to create your own background to look similar to this. And then the embellishments that I use are, surprise, also from Stampin' Up! Years ago. So I'm just gonna pop some of those down because they're kind of a teal color, got a little bit of glitter in them, but they matched his strip on his hat and the broom. So that's what I'm going to use. So I just put 5 little embellishments down, and then I'm going to use my ribbon here that is also, again, just a mixture of ribbon that I had from Stampin' Up! And some that I've gotten from Michaels over the years. So if you're gonna recreate this tag, just use whatever you have. So I'm gonna feed that through. I'm going to probably bring in my tweezers, I believe, on this one. No, nope, I did it all on my own. Good job, Jen. You didn't even need a tool. Look at you. And then I'm going to tie my knot in the top of this tag to secure my ribbon. And that's that. Another tag done. I didn't trim the ends of this ribbon. I might do that later. I might not. It just depends. Depends on my mood. So there he is. He's so cute. If you enjoyed this tag, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And stay tuned for more tags from the 13 Days of Craftoween Advent Calendar. Thank you all.